had a good practice today. It's been a really, no, honestly, you know what I've really enjoyed about the Sun Bowl is the events. And I'll tell you why, is that a lot of bowl games, not that I've been to a lot, but as a player I was at some, and then last year we were at a bowl, is you go to events and you kind of separate. You know, you go in your own separate way. They've done a great job at the Sun Bowl of creating events where you come together. So like our team has got to spend a whole lot of time together. Our coaches got to spend a lot of time together with our families and with our players. And it's really been, I think, a fantastic experience. And the weather's been good. It's a little chilly today. I heard it's supposed to be really good on the 31st. Our players, I think, have enjoyed it. They've worked hard. We've had excellent practices, crisp, detailed. And I think they've got to spend a lot of quality time together at the hotel, you know. And so it's been a really good week. I'm glad we're here, you know, and I hope we can top it off with a really good performance and a win on the 31st.
Are you going to be getting a pair of boots, too?
I'm going to let my daughter, I think, get the boots, or my wife. I'm not much of a cowboy boot guy. I'm a tennis shoe guy, as you guys know. So.
Can you tell the focus is different than it was maybe last year at this time?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's they're still kids, so, you know, they still drift in and out. But when we've asked them to really lock in, they have. You know, they've been really good practices. We've tried to stick as closely as possible to our routine. You know, I talked today about today was a Thursday. I don't even know what day it is. You know, tomorrow's a Friday. Game day's a Saturday. I've said multiple times, you know, we play on Saturday, and they correct me. Well, it's, what is it, Tuesday we play, or Tuesday we play? But so I've tried to, in their minds, make it as normal as possible to a typical game week with a game on Saturday, and I think that's helped them. You know, it's helped in our routine, our preparation. As you guys know, I'm a big believer in routine, especially as you get closer and closer to a game. And so we're able to follow that. It's been good.
Was there any worry that it would get a little stale doing kind of basically 2 weeks of game prep in a row?
I thought about that, but it's a different setting, you know, and I haven't seen any indications of that. You know, I think it's been really good. You know, you come here and like we said, we just started the week over again, and I haven't seen any indications that they're stale at all.
What was the main difference, I guess, for the offensive line between Arizona State and USC? It seems like kind of night and day difference for them.
The offense, the offensive line.
Offensive line.
I don't know. I mean, I think we got ourselves in a situation against Arizona State where we really had to huck the ball a lot. You know, we didn't play well defensively early. We got behind. And against USC, we were in a situation where we could get them in more either-or situations. And so when you get a team in a position where you can run it or throw it, and they can't just pin their ears back and rush the passer, it makes it a lot easier on your offensive line. You kind of got the advantage rather than the defense. So I think that was probably the main difference right there, just the situation.
Is that the same sort of importance going into this game, given how good Virginia Tech's defensive line is?
I think in any game it is. You know, any game is gain the advantage in the score so you can control the game, and you can decide how you want to play it offensively. I think that always is going to help your play caller, and I think it's always going to help your offensive line, because then they dictate things rather than the defense dictating to them. So, you know, we've got to come out, we've got to play well on special teams, we've got to play well on defense, we've got to get, you know, hopefully play with a lead. If we can play with a lead, it's always going to help us.
Jake said yesterday that the offensive line is still pretty simplified in terms of the schemes and all that.
Yeah.
How simple is it at this point? Is it still, you know, a lot simpler than maybe last year's offensive line? Or
well, it has to be. Yeah. You know, when you start 3 true freshmen, and even though now they've got some game experience, still they're experiencing a lot of things for the very first time. I mean, it's not simple to the point that, you know, we put ourselves in situations where we can't make the adjustments, but I think the best thing to do with young guys is make sure they understand exactly what they do so they can do it with confidence, and they can do it with speed and be decisive. And so that's what we're trying to do. So maybe we sacrifice a little bit of complexity for the speed and the confidence and the decisiveness, but that's okay right now.
When you look back at that meeting you had at AB when you changed over to defense, what were your expectations, I guess, of that change then? And obviously, I'm assuming he's surpassed them, but what do you remember about what you thought maybe he would do?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of things that went into it. Is, you know, we knew we were going to play a 3-4 defense, and so you're looking for athletes on the roster that kind of fit the mold, and he fit it from you know, the profile. You know, long, tall, athletic, could catch, could run. He hadn't played the position, so there was an unknown there. You know, we wanted we realized he was a great athlete, and we wanted to utilize him in the right way. You know, he hadn't been getting the football. He hadn't been impactful yet in his career for whatever reason, and we just felt like the way we were going to play defense, a guy like that could be impactful. To predict that he would, you know, end up doing the things that he's done and potentially be the first pick in the draft, you know, I don't think anyone could have seen that. But that's just a testament to the way he's worked, the way he's embraced the change. You know, he's taken to the coaching of Coach Olbrich, and the type of kid he is. So it's pretty exciting to see.
How quick did your expectations of him raise or change, I guess?
Well, it took, you know, through the first part of last year. You know, you remember he missed most of spring, and then he broke his wrist or something, or his thumb during camp out at San Bernardino, so we didn't get to see a lot of him there. But you know, once he started racking up those numbers and doing it against some pretty good players, you said, okay, this guy's pretty good, you know. And it wasn't just rushing the passer, but it was playing the run. It was chasing things down from the backside. It was dropping into coverage. You know, he showed real versatility. And then, you know, Anthony's very bright. Sometimes just, you know, book smarts and street smarts don't translate well to football intelligence, but he's got a high football IQ as well. He understands the game. Probably a lot of it comes from having played the other side of the ball.
Sad for you at all that you only get one more game as
With,
a coach?
Yeah, you know, I think that's something that I am still adjusting to with college football is, you know, you go to this last game and you know that there's a group of players that this is the last time you're going to get to coach them or get to watch them run around the field in a UCLA uniform. That's not something I'm used to. There was always a lot of uncertainty at the next level, but you never knew for sure. Here, it's final, it's certain. So I just want them to go out with a great experience. I want them to go out with win number 10, you know, and I think that's something they could look back on for the rest of their lives and be very proud of.
And who has the best burst?
You have. I think if we were to put all you guys together, Ralph might be first, and
Yeah,
I don't know, you know.
Yeah, I haven't. Burst.
I think we should
I haven't
do that.
burst in years.
We should do a. We should have a 10. We'll run a 40.
Right.
We'll
Okay.
time you guys at the 10 and
I
the
will
20.
agree to this.
I like this.
When you do a
You do?
7:30 football
Let's do
game
it.
and have to have a deadline story in by 10
I
o'clock,
know.
when you do that,
Yeah,
I'll come and run around the track.
I hear you. Yeah.
Media challenge in San Bernardino?
The San Bernardino Media Challenge.
They got
Yeah,
like
you
an
do it.
obstacle course over there, don't they?
Yeah, that might. Did you seen that? That's a little scary though. We'll take you back up in the mountains there,
Okay.
where we go and
Yeah, I
hike.
don't walk into Wilderness Mountain with coaches because I feel as
I
I'm
might
not coming
leave you
back.
there. I might leave you there, especially you. No,
Mrs. Foster didn't raise an idiot.
that's right. So anyway, but no, it's been fun. So I'm looking forward to Saturday. I almost said Saturday. Looking forward to the game on the 31st, and I think we'll play well. You know, I think the guys are. I think they're really wired in. You know, it's really important for them to go play well and win this game. So okay,
Cool.
all right, you guys take care.